This is a fairy oracle card reading for the pure human. These are the two crystals that I drew for your reading. So I have purple fluorite here. So a lot of mental clarity coming in with purple fluorite. This also has to do with meditation. It has to do with third eye, psychic protection, definitely mental clarity. That's something that's coming in. And then I have my smoky quartz here. So these have to do with some of the same things. Smoky quartz is extremely grounding. It definitely has to do with stilling the mind, calming the mind, even the emotions as well, but it does focus on mental clarity again. So it also can help with meditation. But it is very, very grounding as well. So there's kind of that high and low aspect, or high and grounded aspect, you could say. And it resonates with the root chakra, whereas purple fluorite typically resonates with the crown and especially the third eye. Oh, I should also mention as well, this does have to do with psychic protection also, the smoky quartz. So that's another thing that these two crystals have in common. So I'm going to go ahead and see what your guides have to say. So I've got a guide coming in here. Okay, so this feels like a big energy. This guide feels big. Really wide, like broad. Really broad, fast. This guide feels fast. Even though you would almost think of this guide as kind of sluggish because they're very large, very big. They can kind of move in and out of dimensions. I'm assuming this is, yeah, okay. So this is the Yeti guide that I've picked up on before. This definitely feels like a primary guide of yours. And I've got a female guide coming in as well. Okay, so I'm remembering these two. They kind of gave a funny name last time. They said Yeti and Yetta was what they were saying. So typical guide sense of humor there. And easy to remember, too. Now, these guides, I don't know, there's almost, I don't know if there's a fairy around you that I'm picking up on. Yeah, I think there is. Maybe that's why they wanted to use the fairy oracle cards. And this is the second time I've wanted to use fairy oracle cards with you. I'm always feeling the fairy oracle cards. I never quite know why. There's a male guide coming in here too now. And now these two feel paired as well, I think. Now, they might not be romantically paired even. They could be, or they could almost be like siblings or something. They feel more like they might be like siblings, something like that. But they feel very connected. They definitely feel like part of the same soul group. They definitely feel like there's some type of connection to elves and fairy with these two. So again, another kind of group of guides in a sense. But I feel like they're kind of residing over the same area of your life in a sense. They kind of help direct the same types of things. And it feels kind of the same with this Yeti and Yeta. These two are more like partners. So this would feel more like a husband-wife type of feeling. This feels more like sister-brother kind of thing. But very close energetically, definitely. Okay, so let's see what these guides have to say here. And I know you're specifically asking about this question also, about moving and what is going to make you happy. Okay, so one card falling out here. No, actually two cards falling out. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw some more cards here before I get into those. All right. So I had two cards fall out together twice, and then I have this one, last one here. I might pull some others. We'll see. Okay, so these two cards here, this one is called Penelope Dreamweaver. And she's holding this ball of light. She's kind of waiting for inspiration. But then you see this one here that I pulled. And they're all kind of juggling and balancing balls. So both of these cards, they're holding balls. And they're kind of waiting for information. Okay? Here in this card, we have these fairies juggling the balls, and they're kind of waiting for where they're going to land. Everything is kind of all up in the air and going kind of crazy, and some of this feels like mental as well. Mentally, there's a little bit of chaos going on, or a little bit of an ungrounded feeling. And then we have Penelope Dreamweaver here. And she waits for signs, but she also waits to kind of feel better. She waits in this kind of calm space, okay, where she's not being bombarded by all of these things. I'm going to, okay, so I'll go ahead and take these in the order that they fell. Then we have here, we have Ta-Om the poet, and he's very white, and my whiting is very light, so he might be a little bit hard to see, but this is Ta-Om the poet. And then I have here the fairy who was kissed by the pixies. Okay, so she's all about love, unconditional love, and feeling really happy. And also feeling really happy in this kind of romantic way. And I feel like there are some things that you would want to attract. It even feels like you would even want to attract like signs almost of who the right person is. And you don't really want to just go full swing into something with the wrong person. So you kind of wait and hold back. And that is a really good thing. Now, Ta-Om, the poet here, okay, he is very emotional. and he writes about his feelings. He's a poet. He writes all about his feelings, and he expresses himself through his feelings and his writing, but it all comes out kind of emotionally, in the way that he expresses himself. So he feels very artistic in nature, very connected to his intuitive, more artistic and emotional or feminine side. As a male, he's a male fairy. But some of these things can be a little bit distracting. Even with that, you have to kind of wait for signs, be in a still and meditative space. That's even what these crystals are talking about here, being in a still, more grounded, more collected type of space. Not letting your emotions kind of get in the way of you, or get kind of out of hand, because this is representing your mind, but it's also representing your emotions as well. Everything is a little bit jumbled and chaotic in your head right now, your head space, your emotional or heart space as well, it feels like. Now we have the Sage, though. Okay, this is the last card. So this is more what you need to do. Penelope Dreamweaver is a little bit what you need to do as well. And these other cards are more some of the issues, actually. Even these other two, these other two fairies who are more emotional, this is more something that can get a little bit in the way, or kind of chaotic if you let it get out of hand. You need to be in a still space. Now, the Sage, he's balanced, okay? He's not like cold or heartless or unemotional, but he's what he needs to be, and he's logical when he needs to be logical, and he's actually extremely balanced. You can see here, I don't know if you can see that actually, maybe if I really get it in close here, one of his eyes is blind and the other one isn't. Okay, so this is representing here, for me anyway, one side of him is inward, it's going within, it's looking within for the answers, and the other one is moving outward, and so it's putting this information that he gains within himself out. He's manifesting, and he's moving forward in the world, and he's also observing what's around him outwardly as well, and collecting information that way. But in the end, he is still. You can see here how still he is, and you can see that he is balanced emotionally and logically. You can see that. And so you can also see how forward he is when he needs to be, and at the same time how withdrawn and how still he is. Even these kind of tree branches and things stuck in his hair, his beard, and his eyebrows and things. This represents this very kind of grounded nature that he has. His connection to nature and his ability to remain grounded no matter what's happening around him, and this makes him very still. It makes him able to see things very, very clearly. So I don't feel like your guides are giving you some kind of flat out answer like to these questions like, is this person my twin flame? I feel like that's going to come to you naturally. I feel like at this point in your life, it's probably going to be a no. I don't feel like you're necessarily ready to meet that specific person. Now, I do feel like you probably do have a twin flame, though, that you will meet, even for the reason of the way that your guides come in. Okay, I feel like they even come in that way to almost suggest that to you. That you're not going to be alone in that way. You're definitely going to meet the right person. It feels that way. You have these two sibling fairies coming in now, a male and a female. And you've had these two guides coming in with your readings for a while now, Yeti and Yetta. So more twin flame aspect. Even these two kind of feel like a twin flame to me, even though obviously in the incarnation that they're in right now, they're not necessarily, obviously, they're not coming in romantically. They're coming in more as siblings, so not romantically. But they feel that connected soul-wise, more like a twin flame type of aspect. Now, just to clarify here, I feel like your twin flame, they're going to come in a romantic way. And I feel like I should clarify that because of how I'm feeling these two fairies coming in more. So they're not really coming in with a specific answer to that question, or even to this one of, hey, if I move out of my parents' house and I get a dog, am I going to be happy? Are you going to be happy? You know, this is like something that you have to go within, and you have to really still your mind. They're really not coming in with a flat out answer. They want you to get this on your own. So what they're doing is they're guiding you. They're saying, okay, these are some of the issues, and this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to bring your attention to in order to gain this kind of clarity. So one thing that I would suggest is meditate, and work on being in a very still and grounded space, and then things are going to come to you, and they're going to come in an intuitive way. And let go, surrender, surrender to confusion, and surrender to fears that you have. And don't, they're saying not to try and push them away, not to stress out about them, not to kind of feel chaotic because of them. Just allow them to be there and allow them to pass through you, because they are natural. It is natural to feel those things, to have those types of emotions on earth, but that is what you're dealing with. It's this kind of ungroundedness. It feels chaotic, and it's fear-based because they're saying that you're not letting go. And before you can move forward, like they were saying with the Sage card, okay, one eye is looking inward, one eye is looking out, and so he sees clearly inwardly. He knows himself, and he knows what to do, how to move outwardly, to move towards something that will make him happy, something that will make him feel secure in the world around him, that will make him grounded, that will make him free. And it's coming in as well that will cause him to possess the things that he wants and the things that he owns already. So there's this feeling like he possesses things, like he owns things. Certain things are his possessions. He owns them. And there's also, I don't know, there's this, even inwardly, there's a feeling of like, he knows himself. There are certain things that he kind of owns, or that he holds. He holds certain spaces that aren't fear-based, no matter what's happening around him. So again, don't resist the fear. And saying not to be fear-based, that doesn't mean that you go against fear, that you're resisting it. That means that you allow it, that you're not guided by it. And typically, when we're guided by fear, now it can cause us to do things, it can cause us to rush and do something that we shouldn't have done. But typically, especially with spiritual people, what it typically does is it goes, am I on the right path? Am I on the right path? What do I do now? Where do I go now? What's good for me? Am I doing the right thing? I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know that. And it feels very like uprooting and ungrounded and anxious. So it doesn't feel still. And then we have all these questions, and we actually just need to release them. They're natural to have, and we'll get the answers when we're actually allowing of being in that space of, I don't know what the heck to do right now. And you have to be allowing of that. Don't try and get rid of that or find the solution to it. The solution is actually in a sense, in avoiding the solution is how it will actually come to you. And they don't really mean avoidance either, but what they're saying is by letting go, by allowing the answer to come to you, by letting the chaos be there, by letting the I don't know what to do and the fear-based stuff to just be there, and then it will just melt away. You'll come into stillness. But definitely work on meditation. This doesn't just mean a one-time thing during the day, though this also means like throughout the day. Work on being in a meditative, still state. And sometimes that means just breathing and letting an emotion pass through you because it's okay to be there, versus resisting the emotion and wishing that it weren't there or acting out of it like, I don't know what to do now, and reacting to it. Just let it be there and let it be okay. Teach that emotion to be okay with the circumstance of, I don't know what to do yet. And they're saying yet specifically because you will, but you have to let go and you have to allow, and then it will come to you, then it will manifest. Then the decision will be clear. All of your decisions will be clear. And that's really one major thing about the sage here. He makes decisions with clarity. He's also very disciplined. He's very disciplined with what he does and the way that he thinks, and what he acts out of. Okay, so that is all that your guides have to say for this reading. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope, as always, that it benefits you. Thank you very much. Namaste.